In our lesson today, we're going to be looking at rounding decimal numbers. So first, we're going to have a recap on just what rounding is. So the reason we round is to make it easier to manipulate numbers. So it makes it easier to add, subtract, multiply, and sometimes divide. So here I've got my number line, and I've started from 0, and it goes all the way up to 100. And it goes in intervals of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going up in whole numbers. So first of all, I want to round 27 to the nearest 10. So what would I need to look at first? What digit would I need to look at? Would I look at the 2 or would I look at the 7? Would I look at the 10s or the 1s? If you said 1s, you would be correct. So we're looking at the nearest 10, so rounding 27 to the nearest 10. So let's move across. Get my trusty pen. So 27 lies between 20 and 30. And you can see that 27 is closer to 30. So 27 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 30. Let's now look at 61. Oops. So we need to go all the way across. Take my numbers with me. So we're looking at 61. So if we round 61 to the nearest 10, there's two possible answers. There's 60 and there's 70. Two multiples of 10 that it lies between. And 61 is just one after 60. So 61 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 60. So 27 was 30 and we rounded up. And you can see here, if the digit is less than 5, we round down. And if it's 5 or more, we would round up. So let's look at 49. We're looking at rounding it to the nearest 10. So therefore, it lies between 40 and 50. The ones digit is bigger than 5, so that would be rounded up to 50. And 83, we're looking at the ones digit this time. It's less than 5, so we would round down to 80. And just to prove that's correct, let's look at 83. It lies between 80 and 90, and 83 is here, and you can see that it is closer to 80. So we'd round down to 80. So that's a little bit of a recap on rounding. Today we're going to be rounding decimals though, which is a little bit different, but you still need to remember this. When it's less than 5, we round down. When it's 5 or more, we round up. So here I've zoomed into my number line, and you can see that I've got 30 intervals, but it stops at 3, and that's because it's now going up in tenths. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and it goes all the way up to the whole number 3, which is obviously 30 tenths. So I want to round 2.7 to the nearest whole number. So what I'd need to do is locate the two possible answers that it could be. And 2.7 lies between 2 and 3. We don't actually need the 0.0 there because we know it's just 2 whole ones and 3 whole ones. So you can see 2.7 is here and it is closer to 3. So 2.7 rounded to the nearest whole number would be 3. Remember, this is 5 or higher, so therefore we rounded up. Let's try another one. Let's rub this out. Let's do 1.4. What's 1.4 rounded to the nearest whole number? If you said 2, you would be incorrect. If you said 1, you would be correct. And the reason for that is that the digit in the tenths column is less than 5, so we round down to 1. And actually, if we look at our number line, we can see that 1.4 is closer to 1 than it is to 2. Let's try another one. Let's rub everything out. And let's even get rid of our number line. Tell you what, let's move our number line all the way over here. In fact, no, let's keep it down here, and I'm going to give you a bigger number. Let's do 6.6. So what is 6.6 rounded to the nearest whole number? 5 seconds. Answer is 7. So let's see why it is 7. So let's go between the two possible answers that it could be. The number was 6.6, and the two possible answers were 6 or 7. If we locate 6.6, you can see that it is closer to 7 than it is to 6. In fact, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 0.4 away from 7, but it's 0.6 away from 6. So 6.6 rounded to the nearest whole number would be 7. Lots of you would have been shouting 7 at the screen, and that's because you are using your knowledge of rounding, realizing that the 0.6, the 6, is higher than 5, so we round up. Let's just do one more. For this answer, try not to look at the screen. Let's do 7.2. What's 7.2 rounded to the nearest whole number? The answer is 7, because the 10th digit is less than 5, and therefore we round down. So 7.2 rounded to the nearest whole number is 7. And let's just have a look what that looks like. The two possible answers were 7 or 8, and we can see 7.2 is much closer to 7. In fact, it's only 2/10 away. What you can do to help you today is use your knowledge of rounding to the nearest 10. For example, if you know that 72 rounded to the nearest 10 is 70, then 7.2 rounded to the nearest whole number is 7. And here, if you know that 89 rounded to the nearest 10 is 90, then 8.9 rounded to the nearest whole number is 9. So it's quite straightforward today, but as always, you've got challenge 1, 2, and 3. They get a little bit harder as you go through the challenges. As always, good luck.